came on and dropped off? Well, as you can see from the title, rest in peace, Betty White. And then you died, passed away the last day of the year. You know, it's not a sad moment though. People say, "Oh, so it's so sad she passed away." I was like, she was 99 years old. She lived a full life, a purposeful life, a blessed life. She lived a life and fulfilled all her dreams. She served a purpose. And Miss Betty White, you are now in heaven with your late husband, the love of your life. I love watching the shows. I loved it. All the shows that she's been in, I loved it. Especially the Golden Girls. I could watch the episode of the Golden Girls over and over and over again. That was one of my favorite shows that she played in. But of course, every show she was in, I loved, and it was great. So um as we say goodbye to 2021, it is 8:41. So right now I'm just cleaning my oven. Well, I'm not cleaning the oven. It's on self-cleaning mode. So right now my house is all smoked up. I got the window open, and I think I set it for 3 hours, but shoot, I don't want to burn up all that gas. But of course, once that's finished, I guess, just wipe up, finish cleaning my oven. I was trying to meet the deadline of bringing in the new year with everything nice and orderly, and most of it is done. And but I still got some time. I'm waiting for that oven to stop so the oven stop cleaning oven could be finished. And all I gotta do is just simply wipe it down. It wasn't that dirty, but I just set the self cleaning mode on, and then I put my steel pans. I have a couple of pans in that oven, so I could get real hot, and I'll take those pans out, and then it'll be self cleaned with the oven, so that will be make it easier for me to finish the last few of these steel pot and pans that I have. And some of those things I may just throw out. But those expensive steel pots and pans, and I'm basically finished. And then I got the ham out. That's sitting on the counter, defrosting. And then, yeah, I'll be cooking tomorrow. I should wait till Sunday to cook. But I know it may be a little bit superstitious. They said to eat, like I tell you, the collard greens and the beans. It's supposed to be black eyed peas, but I'm gonna make. I didn't buy no black eyed peas. I don't think I have any more. So I'm gonna make northern beans. Hey, four people, go ahead and Go ahead and enter hi in the chat because I'm trying to figure out if I turned off that feature. Look at this oxidization thing I got on my finger. That oxidation. This is what this is. Uh-oh. This is what I got from Forward, and I had the blood pressure kit, but I realized that somehow the battery fell off, so I got to find the battery. Let me see if they're going to tell me what it is. So anyway, yes, Betty White. Who's in the chat? It's four of y'all lurking in the background. Where y'all at? At least say hi. And then this week, Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu passed. He was 94 2 years old, 93. He passed away. And I don't know what it is. I always keep thinking when someone passes away, I always think of these things in threes, that people pass away in threes. Now, I know that might be silly, but when you think about it, Betty White this week, the last day of the year. Desmond Tutu was Monday. Um, who else would I be very notable that passed? Well, then of course that rapper, whatever, I can't know his name. Not the one that was in L.A., but he got shot at the backstage or something like that. I heard. I didn't know his name. I can't remember. And then the other rapper who was in Memphis, and then they said it was also this other actress. She used to be part of the Mickey Mouse Club or something. I think she was one of those child stars. But you know what? When we, when I'm gonna watch CNN, um, the drop of the New Year's, because there's no way I'm gonna be able to sleep when midnight comes. So I'm not gonna be here long. I'm gonna come back and see who else is on here. But the two people lurking, please say if you could maybe leave a comment or say something. Y'all keep coming in and out. Now I know I disabled my comment, so let me check. I want to make sure I did. I'm turning off the comments. Oops. Somebody said ask me something. One of my friends sent me something about some naked lady got a snake wrapped around her body. Man, people be doing the most. Okay. They'd have the memorial service for Desmond Tutu in Cape Town City Hall. It's streaming live on Roland Martin channel, but I'm not that big of a fan of his. But the fact that it's StreamYard right now, but I'm quite sure I could find someone else memorial service.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praises and thanks are due to Allah, the Creator, Nourisher, and Sustainer of the entire universe. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Verily from Allah do we come, and back to Him shall be our final return. We pray that the legacy of great leaders such as Archbishop Desmond Tutu always be kept alive, especially by the people. Yes.
Yep. So Miss White We salute you for all your wonderful laughs, all your wonderful gifts, with even with the animals, with their pets and their charity, your generosity, philanthropy that you've done throughout various communities. You know, as I was reading her life, I had forgot that she had her own talk show, but that was way back in my time. But she had her own talk show, the Betty White Show, and I just got through reading something that she was one of the first persons to have. It was this black actor or dancer on her show, tap dancer. I can't remember the name. I'll have to go back but y'all could read it. And about back in the in the time when blacks people were not allowed on these shows, TV shows or TV, and she had this particular actor on her show, and people was like criticizing her about it, and she told them basically get over it, and had that black man dancer or whatever his name was, I can't remember. And the next day they canceled her show, but she stood her ground. You know, she was very active in regards to support of LGBT causes and that I've read about. Um, it was just a lot of things that, other than her role she played, Mary Tyler Moe show. Um, I remember she was on Carol Burnett show. She was what's the other? So many shows she's been on. Mary Tyler Moe show, Newhart show, just a whole array of her accomplishments. It's amazing that you could work. She was working, getting got excellent roles and was still relevant even all up in her 90s. She was still continued to acting. And then her birthday would have been January the 17th. She would have turned 100 years old. But God called her home and called her home. So she didn't make it to 100. But that's okay. A lot of people writing on it. I was watch one of my cousins. He was like, "Yeah, Betty White died," and he said, "So sad." I said, "It is not sad. She lived a full life, purposeful life." I don't know why people say that. Someone who lived to be 99, 100, if you live to be 99, 80s, 90ish, if you lived a full life at a good old age, and she was still had all her wits. She didn't have no Alzheimer's. She wasn't like absent-minded. She was still able to walk. She was able to do a lot of things. You know? So when people say, "Oh, it's sad that Betty," it's not sad. Death is that's the natural part of life. We are born, we are born, we live, we grow. We grow as a baby, infant, toddler, child, teenager, adults. And we live, and then you get to the old age. And it's what you do with your life and how you impact people. And it was something I heard today on a tech talks, and I'm gonna summarize what someone said. You live your dreams, but those dreams die with you when you leave. But when you inspire other people, that lives forever. Meaning that you can live your life, fulfill your dreams, but once you did that, that's it. It's gone. But it's when you take on a position of helping others, servicing others, passing it on to other people, your legacy that you do for people and influencing other people carries on, it lives on. And when you're able to share your life through laughter or whatever it is that you do, see, that's why, I get so, I ain't gonna curse. I'm not gonna go on a rant. Next year, I'm not gonna go on these big rants like I used to, well, not used to what I was doing. When people make, if people come on here and especially these other so-called younger generation, when they come on and they want to focus on being so materialistic, looking down on people, talking crazy about, you know, especially when you get on there and still harping off of something of my opinion. And they say, well, that's your choice and to be in accountability. You know what? These people who want to focus so much about people, you being held accountable, I'm not going to focus on people like that no more. And don't focus too much on what I do either. You know, I'm not going to shorten my life stressing myself out on other people. So my thing is, I'm going to say I'm not that invested. And all of that, all that fakeness that people do on here on YouTube and all that petty stuff and crazy things and worrying about what other people are doing and just talking about people, especially like the beef sector. You like, I'm gonna drag you or whatever. Mm-mm. Oh, my oven is finished clean. I can hear the beep. All these little stupid, silly things. I'm gonna try to leave that behind. So it's 9 o'clock now. Almost 3 more minutes for 9. All certain. Now I'm not gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna be perfect about it," because it's not about being perfect about it. But I said to myself, like I told someone today, I'm gonna be very intentional on several things in my life. Financially, be intentional when I focus on my health and trying to um, eat more wholesome foods and not lose. I ain't gonna say losing weight, because being more healthy in all aspects of my life, financially, spiritually, physically, things that I do in terms of my goals and things that I want to do. That's what I'm going to focus on. Living life on purpose and living and being intentional. And on the same time being a little bit more, having a sense of gratitude. That's what. So when people live to be 199 years old in their life, I'm quite sure there was a lot of things people didn't like about Betty White. But when they have her service, whenever it will be, probably be a couple days, there will be millions and millions of people around the world, millions of people from different generations that's going to honor her. Now, when we throw the word queen around, we like to throw, hey queen. That does not stop at black folks. It's when you give Queen, I'm not gonna be giving people, hey Queen, you're gonna have to earn that title, and she's a queen. Betty White is a queen. I may not know her, and I say, well, you don't know her. You don't have to know. But if you could get you could get many happiness from people and from your talent, from your talent, and she inspired people in many different levels, charitable, um, that she stood up for people. She stood up with black people. And her show, when it was a time, it wasn't even popular. It was something. It was like almost suicide, and that's what and it caused her talk show. But she said, "Get deal with it." Someone's gonna mention it. I assure you, they gonna mention it. It's gonna be It's gonna be said. But see, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that part of her life until I read it, and I saw a video about it with CNN just a few minutes ago before I came on, and I said, "Man." And there ain't a lot of people who stood up. This was like the 40s, 50s, in the civil rights, and her love for animals and the protection of animals. I remember those commercials. She would always, have those cats and dogs, and she loved animals, but she was one to support the animals. They're just as important too. But I just love Betty White. I really did. I loved all the different roles she played, especially on Golden Girls. But she was a wit, though. I could tell you, she was a wit. So we say goodbye to 2021, and we, when they go through the list of who passed away, it probably be a lot of people on the list that I was like, what? I didn't realize they passed. But it's not a sad moment. When people say, oh, it's so sad, when they lived a full life, especially if you live to be 80, 90, even if you reach 100 years old and they pass away, that's not something to be sad about. So when people be like, it's sad that she passed away, no. I have an aunt right now. She is 95 years old. Yeah, she's 95. And my cousin, he's the only child. Now she's still alive. She may get to 100. We pray that she do, but you don't know when you're gonna go. You don't know when you're gonna go. And one thing I could say for sure, she probably was not even afraid to go. I think Brady White was so happy that she was like, "Oh, I'm so happy when she passed because she'll be back in heaven with the love of her life." Her husband, her third husband, was when she was on that game show Password. The host, that's her husband. That was her late husband. They were married. They said that they were married for 35 years, and he passed away with brain cancer back in 19. I want to say it was 1990 something. Y'all read it. Y'all read it. If y'all interested in Betty White, y'all read. Y'all gonna read the life story, and they'll you catch on with it. So her passing is not the one to be sad, but it's to be celebrated. I hear all these bombs going on already. They're gonna be up going all night. That's why I'm not gonna be going to bed to go to sleep, because Stone Mountain Park they have their fireworks, and people gonna be driving around shooting guns in the air. Oh, I can't. That's why I'm not going nowhere. I'm gonna stay right home. I'm gonna stay right here on YouTube and bring in the new year. So anyway, I ain't gonna be here long because since y'all ain't want to say nothing, And I think I turned off the comments in the chat. So I know who's going to text me. You know, you got my phone number, whatever, email. You send an email message to me and I'll get it. I'll read it. So for those, you know, I'll come back and wish Happy New Year in 3 hours from now or 2 hours and 56 minutes from now. I'll come back to wish a Happy New Year. So, Miss Betty White, Happy New Year to you in heaven and to all those who passed this year or within the last week, whether you're famous, whether you're someone you may not know and you pass, for all those people and the family members who lost a loved one, they may go through a time of sadness and grief. God will keep you in his hands. You will go through the natural progress of grief, but it will pass. And you just have to honor you'll honor that person who passed, not by staying in a state of sorrow and sadness too long. You stay there whatever time you need. You're going to go through the process of grieving. And one last thing, because I don't know, I never knew, I met this person one time. I'm going to end this story with this one. This was really sad. And I had followed them on Facebook and stuff, but I did meet one of them. There was the wife. She was an artist. And I remember, how did we end up meeting? Did they had a meetup group? Was it a meetup group that I was part of? Or, well, anyway, she had a showing with her. She was a photographer. And I remember meeting her. Her name is Alicia. And I remember meeting her at one of her photo events and stuff. And I met her face to face in person. And she was married. And I remember, following them on Facebook and her partner. And they knew each other, I think it was 15, 18 years. Beautiful wedding. I saw it on Facebook. And she married the love of her life. Now, they're two women, so don't be getting on here talking crazy either. One was Alicia and one was Lisa. I said, well, dang, y'all got so similar names. And I never met the spouse. I only met Alicia because she had, it was like I know it was a meetup of some sort. I know we met and it was a meetup and it was some kind of event and stuff. And I had went to one of her showings. It was at the museum. And about a couple of months ago, her partner was going back home to Michigan for something. Her father passed and suddenly she had and this was sudden too. And her dog, they named the dog Betty White. They had this little black dog, they named him Betty White. I was like, oh, look at y'all named her because I think they, and she had to leave Columbia, South Carolina because somehow or another she passed away. And she was on Facebook and she was on her way to Lansing, Michigan. And, next thing you knew, they said she passed. I think she had like a hemorrhage of some sort or whatever. Man, that made me so sad. So sad. I was like shocked. I mean, she had an array of different friends and people, and she was like, she didn't feel she could live without her. And, I sent a message and and condolences. And that was sad. It was very it was very heartbroken. And I know it's hard right now, you know. I'm quite sure. And she wasn't no old. They weren't old. She was in I think they were like in their 50s, so she lost her life partner. But of course, she would have people around her to support her, and she would grieve. And you know, I know it's probably the first time for her to not be with her. You know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. And there were other people that I knew. I wasn't as close to them, but I knew other people I knew. They would post on the Facebook page of someone passing away, the significant others and stuff. But when someone passes away, yes, it is. It will. You will be sad. You will cry. But if that person and you did right, you do right by that person. Even if you get into arguments or whatever, and you do right by that person, when someone passes away, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be a painful hurt. But whatever God you may serve, time will pass. This too shall pass. And you honor that person. You honor that person. I told this to somebody that I met. They was one of my subscribers, and we had a falling out. And she called me a couple months ago. And I was like, her name's Christine. It's Christina. I don't know if she found my channel because she said I can't find your channel. So, you know, her son passed away. I think it was right on. I don't think it was 5, 6 years ago. And every time around the holidays, she gets really depressed. And I said, this is the one thing I told her. I said, you could grieve. I don't know how long it takes people. It takes a long time for people to grieve. But some people stay stuck in their sorrow. And I said, well, it's going to take time. But I also said, but think about the good times. Honor them in such a way. They don't want you to, they want you to move on. Sometimes you have to move on in life. It's nothing wrong grieving and being sad, especially during the holidays. People get very, you know, people get very upset. But don't let it keep going on and on and on, and to the point where you put yourself in that mental state. Because people go through says go on medication, and it got to the point it was so bad that they was depression, and you're taking medications and things like that. They holding on to it. And I said, some people they don't let go. There's many different ways. I don't know if this person cried. Did you cry? I don't think they cried. And that's one of the worst things that you could do is like if you go somewhere and somebody's like they not crying. I ain't talking about you hate the person to the point where they were real evil and mean. And if they passed away, like some spouse or somebody was beating up on it and doing some crazy, and they did evil stuff to other people and you, and they said, well, so so died. All you could do is say, God forgive them, and that's it. In some circumstances, some people ain't worth your tears, but a person was worth your tears, and you just can't grieve. Some people never reach that point of grieving and letting go. That don't mean you have to forget the person, but if you don't really grieve, it says, well, why that person's not crying? You have to give them time. You give time to grieve. But my thing is, time will time will time will heal, but honoring the person is one of the greatest things to do. People, this whole thing I was hearing about in the last couple of years where they do these little shows about singers and artists, living legends, they call, give them the flowers while they're here. I believe that. Honor them while they're here. Remember people when they're here. Visit, a phone call, do that. So, anyway, let me move on so I can finish cleaning my oven. The oven already stopped cleaning, so I'm going to finish cleaning out my oven. And, well, I can't do no with the ham, so that's defrosting right now. I wonder if I should soak the beans. Should I soak the beans and then put them in a crock pot, or I'm gonna soak the beans. I'm gonna sort the beans and soak them, and then I'll cook them tomorrow in the crock. I might cook that in a crock pot. Let me see, cook that in a crock pot. Collard greens, ham, sweet potato. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. So anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. I'll see y'all I think I'll come on about 10:45. I think I'll come back 10:45. And then we'll do the countdown. And then I'll put the invite link so people could come on. You don't have to show your face. And then anyone want to come on and do the countdown of maybe we'll do Times Square, the countdown for New Year's. I think I'll do that. We'll share the screen and do that. So since y'all ain't come on here, I don't know if I turned the comments off, but I think I did. That's why I ain't see nobody come on this chat. So y'all have a good one. Talk to y'all in about 2 hours. Bye.